Duncan McNabb here, and it is the 8th of May 2024. And an update on the Leongatha mushroom murders from last year. You might recall that in November 2023, Erin Patterson, then 48 years old, was arrested in Leongatha in Victoria and charged with 8 serious crimes. 3 counts of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder arising from her alleged use of death cap mushrooms in preparation of a Beef Wellington dish served to her former in-laws at that lunch in late July. Now, those who died that day were Gail and Donald Patterson, Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson. The attempted murder charges arise from Ian Wilkinson, who survived the lunch but was hospitalised for quite some time, and Erin's former husband, Simon, who didn't turn up for lunch that day. They're the 5 counts of murder and attempted murder. The other 3 attempted murder counts relate to attempts police allege on Simon by Erin in the lead up to the Leongatha event, and they are over a period of a couple of years. One allegation is an attempted murder at Corumburra, the town the Wilkinsons and the Pattersons had come from, 12 kilometres away from Leongatha. Another event at Halkwa in northeastern Victoria, and another event allegedly at Wilson's Promontory, also in Victoria, down the southern tip. On the 22nd of April, what was supposed to be a minor housekeeping matter at the Magistrates Court in Morwell took a distinct twist when Ms. Patterson's counsel stood up and said that she had instructed him to test the prosecution evidence in committal proceedings before that local court. Now, this is going to take 2 or 3 weeks to actually hear it. It's unusual these days. In most instances, the committal is done very, very quickly, an agreement, and straight up to the higher court to hear the evidence and test the evidence. So tested committals are not that common. The magistrate adjourned it until the 7th of May, yesterday. And yesterday morning, again, another twist. Ms. Patterson again appeared by audio-visual link from prison where she's on remand without bail. Her counsel stood up and said that there had been a change of plan and that they would seek to, 1, plead not guilty to the charges, and secondly, that they wish to go to court in the Supreme Court of Victoria as quickly as possible. Victorians call it fast-tracking. The rest of Australia actually just deals with it in a normal course of events. Ms. Patterson then formally entered her not guilty plea by speaking to the magistrate on the link. The magistrate then formally committed the matter for trial. So upstairs to the Supreme Court it goes. Now, it's been reported that the Supreme Court will have a first preliminary hearing on May the 23rd, a directions hearing is what they call it. I'm also told from the reports, and I've got to check this out, that Victoria doesn't allow us to report what happens in the directions hearings that follow, and there'll be plenty of them. Now, the purpose of these hearings is pretty much housekeeping, to have a look at the list of witnesses and see whether or not they can be reduced. I mean, if you have a couple of hundred people hypothetically on a list, you don't want to listen to every shred of evidence. Some evidence can be agreed on so the person doesn't have to turn up at court. So cuts the time down, and trials are fairly lengthy things as it is. So any trimming that's amenable to both sides and to the court is a good idea. So that's why we have these directions hearing, and to also make sure that the preparation for the trial is on track so we don't get to that situation which happens, unfortunately, a little bit too often sometimes, where you get to a couple of days out and the trial isn't ready to go ahead. The court frowns on this very badly. The lawyers normally get a decent bollocking if it comes as a surprise. So stay tuned. I'm going to find out more about what I can tell you and what we can actually report, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.